Well, hey everybody, it's Benjamin here. I just read Stephen King's Carrie, but the books I really want to talk about is the first three books in the Dexter series. I watched the series on Showtime a while back. I think I don't know how many seasons, but I watched them all but the last one. This book is called Dexter by Jeff Lindsay, a novel. There are, I believe, 8 in the series, and I've already read the first 3. As you can tell, it's Michael C. Hall right there. What do I have to say about these books? All positive things. But let me get to that after I read the back of the first novel. Meet Dexter Morgan, a polite wolf in sheep's clothing. He's handsome and charming, but something in his past has made him abide by a different set of rules. He's a serial killer whose one golden rule makes him intensely likable. He only kills bad people. And his job as a blood splatter expert for the Miami Police Department puts him in the perfect position to identify his victims. But when a series of brutal murders bears a striking similarity to his own style start turning up, Dexter is caught between being flattered and being frightened of himself or some other fiend. This says the genre is black vintage crime, black lizard. I've never heard of black lizard, and I don't know why it's vintage crime. But these books are pretty good. I like these books because I'm really easily able to identify with the main character, Dexter Morgan. And I think everybody has a particular dark side, and books like this really bring out that dark side. And it makes you think, would I do this? Would I act like this? And I think deep down, I think we can all truthfully relate with this character. Especially people with any kind of mental illness that makes it difficult to feel emotion. Not necessarily a person who's a sociopath or a psychopath, because I don't think the DSM even has that in there anymore. But avoidant personality types and people with autism and several other kinds have difficulty relating with social situations. And that's the case with the main character in these books, at least from my own perspective. He's human, but he has what he calls a dark passenger, which I think in all honesty everyone does to some extent. They have that little voice in the back that tells them to do the bad shit, pardon the use of the language, and to do the good stuff. And I don't know how many people have a tendency to go towards the other side, because I don't know anything about that. But I love these series. The series is absolutely fantastic. I like how he cleans it up, how his stepfather Harry was a police officer, and he took him from when he adopted Dexter, who was in a very violent child, had a very violent toddler. As a toddler, I guess he woke up, him and his brother, it was a spoiler alert by the way, him and his brother were involved in something with just covered in blood. It was a mass, like his mother got killed, his dad got killed, just blood everywhere. And yeah, that would mess somebody up permanently, even if they don't remember the things, even if they repress these really dark memories, they're going to eventually find a conduit in real life. So the mind reflects, your body and your life reflects what you think. That was Darkly Dreaming Dexter, by the way. I'd encourage you to check that one out. But if you're going to read the Dexter series, you're going to have to start with the first one. At least, I hope you do. As all you guys know, I usually don't read true crime novels. But I think it's a genre I'm going to start getting into, because I really am getting to the point where I really enjoy crime novels. Like whodunit, how they're going to do it, why would they do it, modus operandi. Definitely pretty cool. Alright, Dearly Devoted Dexter. This is the second book in this, I think. Maybe. Second book in the series. And as you can tell, there's a hangman there. And if you read the novel, it'll come to make sense. Here is I think it's called a blurb or from the back. But this isn't the front cover, because the back's just reviews. Not very good ones, but it says, he's a charming monster, a macabre hero, a serial killer who only kills bad people. We covered that in the last book. Dexter Morgan has been under considerable pressure. It's just not easy being an ethical serial killer, especially while trying to avoid the unshakable suspicions of the dangerous Sergeant Dokes, who believes Dexter is a homicidal maniac, which of course he is. In an attempt to throw Dokes off his trail, Dexter has had to slip deep into his foolproof disguise. While not working as a blood spatter analyst for the Miami Police Department, he now spends nearly all of his time with his cheerful girlfriend Rita and her 2 children, sipping light beer and slowly becoming the world's first serial couch potato. But how can Dexter play kick the can instead of slice the slasher? How long before his dark passenger forces him to drop the charade and let his inner monster run free? In trying times, opportunity knocks. A particularly nasty psychopath is cutting a trail through Miami, a man whose twisted technique leaves even Dexter speechless. As Dexter's dark appetite is revived, his sister Deborah, a newly minted, tough-as-nails Miami detective, is drawn headlong into the case. It quickly becomes clear that it will take a monster to catch a monster, but it isn't until his arch-nemesis is abducted that Dex can finally throw himself into the search for a new plaything, unless, of course, his plaything finds him first. With this incredible wit and freshness that drew widespread acclaim to darkly dreaming Dexter, Jeff Lindsay now takes Dexter Morgan to a new level of macabre appeal and gives us one of the most original, colorful narrators in years. And there's actually a picture of Jeff Lindsay right here. Let's see what he looks like. Yeah, he kind of looks like a serial killer himself. If you don't really like violence, like blood and gore, but then I think anybody who reads any kind of crime novels is kind of used to it. I mean, even that comes out in science fiction or westerns. But these books, it's not, wouldn't say it's distasteful, but it really goes with the story. Yeah, it's kind of like way out there as far as violence goes. It's extreme violence, but through a portion of the book, it is some level of controlled violence, which I really like how Jeff Lindsay brings that out in his character, Dexter. He says, here's Dexter, and here's these serial killers which he's killing. And somehow you always side with Dexter. When you read the novels, you just are just awestruck by his wit and his wisdom and just how he shapes this character. I've only finished the 3rd book, but the character arch, how it goes through the books, the storyline is just mind-boggling. It's a really, really good series. I say that now when I'm starting the book number 4, but the first 3 were pretty good. I liked this one. It was interesting to see how the crimes were done. And that's a good thing about all the books. All the serial killers he creates are usually independent characters, I have to say. Like, they have their own backstories. And he brings that forth in these novels pretty well. So I would definitely encourage you to start with this one and work your way back. As you can see, this one is kind of out there and old, but I just love how he brings that out. And I know this video is going on forever. Dexter in the Dark. This one was funny. It's macabre, but it's really cool. I like this one more than the other ones because he brings out some level of mythology and history behind serial killers in this. But this is a spoiler alert, but he does bring out Moloch. You know, the ancient Semitic deity from way back 3,000 or 4,000 years ago. But it just really, really good. I'm going to read the blurg. I don't know how to pronounce it. But as you can tell, there's him in a Hawaiian shirt with bloody knives all over it. And a full moon. And it does explain the full moon, like, is what triggers him into becoming a serial killer. I guess he's like once a month killer. I don't know. But that's pretty cool how he uses the moon, mythology, criminology, psychotherapy. Everything he brings into these books, he brings to bear. Anything you could think of. I mean, Dexter's a blood splatter analyst, so he works with the Miami-Dade Metropolitan Police Department, which I did live in Florida for a while, but it wasn't all the way down to the south. And I also like how he uses the geography of Florida, the environment, and the general outline and structure of the entire state to just make the story so fleshed out and well done. I'm going to read the little paper in here, the blurg, I don't know. And then I'm going to tell you what I thought of this one, and then I'm going to finish the video. If you've followed me this far, please like and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. One of the most likable vigilante serial killers review. Oh my, review. Witty, darkly suspenseful novel. In his work as a Miami crime scene investigator, Dexter Morgan is accustomed to seeing evil deeds, particularly because On occasion, he rather enjoys committing them himself, guided by his dark passenger, the reptilian voice inside him. He lives his outwardly normal life adhering to one simple rule. He kills only very bad people. Dexter slides through life undetected, working as a blood splatter analyst for the Miami Police Department, helping his fiancée raise her two adorable, if somewhat unique, children, and always planning his next jaunt as Dexter, the Dark Avenger, under the light of the moon. But then everything changes. Dexter is called to a crime scene that seems rather routine. A gruesome double homicide at the university campus, which Dexter would normally investigate with gusto before enjoying a savory lunch. And yet this scene feels terribly wrong. Dexter's dark passenger senses something he recognizes, something utterly chilling, and the passenger mastermind of Dexter's homicidal prowess promptly goes into hiding. With his passenger on the run, Dexter is left to face this case all alone, not to mention his demanding sister, Sergeant Deborah, his frantic fiancée, Rita, and the most frightening wedding caterer ever to plan a menu. Equally unsettling, Dexter begins to realize that something very dark and very powerful has its sights set on him. Dexter is left in the dark, but he must summon his sharpest investigative instincts, not only to pursue his enemy, but to locate and truly understand his dark passenger. To find him, Dexter has to research the questions he's never dared ask. Who is the dark passenger, and where does he come from? It is nothing less than a search for Dexter's own dark soul, fueled by a steady supply of fresh donuts. Macabre, ironic, and wonderfully entertaining, Dexter in the Dark goes deeper into the psyche of one of the most freshest protagonists in recent fiction. Jeff Lindsay's glorious creativity is on full display in his first accomplished novel yet. On his most accomplished. I actually gave all three of these 5-star reviews on Goodreads because they were just mind-blowingly good. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying with me. I know it's like almost 12 minutes, 12 and a half minutes. So please like and subscribe, comment below, like the video, and I appreciate you watching.